Let's take a journey back to the early 1980s, when the Minneapolis music scene was about to be forever changed by two extraordinary talents. Picture this: a young Prince, already making waves in the music industry, decides to create something special, a band that would become both his alter ego and his rival. That band was The Time, fronted by the charismatic Morris Day. But here's the fascinating part. While Morris stood center stage, captivating audiences with his flamboyant style and smooth vocals, the mastermind behind everything was none other than Prince himself.
Imagine the scene.
Morris Day walks into the studio, alongside Jesse Johnson and Prince. The atmosphere is charged with anticipation. Then Terry Lewis and Jimmy Jam enter, completely unaware of what's about to happen. Without hesitation, Prince drops a bombshell. "You guys are fired," just like that. No warning, no discussion. This wasn't just a casual decision. It was the culmination of years of tension and control that had been simmering beneath the surface. You see, The Time wasn't just any band, it was Prince's creation, his musical clone. Every note, every chord progression, every funky rhythm came directly from his mind. He played most of the instruments on their tracks, often hiding behind pseudonyms like Jamie Starr. To the outside world, The Time appeared as an independent heart-to-pent purse. But in reality, they were merely vessels for Prince's creative vision.
Can you imagine being part of a band where you're essentially performing someone else's music, note for note?
Morris Day himself called Prince out as a control freak, and who could blame him? Here was a man who had renamed the group from The Time to Morris Day and The Time during tours, only to discover that legally, he couldn't even use that name without permission. Talk about irony. The tension reached its peak when Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, two brilliant minds in their own right, found themselves caught in a snowstorm while working on another project. When they returned to find they'd missed a crucial show, Prince saw his opportunity to tighten his grip. The firing of Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis marked a turning point. These weren't just any band members, they were innovators who would go on to revolutionize pop music production. Yet Prince, ever the perfectionist, viewed their moonlighting as betrayal. Even when they worked on the SOS band's hit Just Be Good to Me, Prince made sure everyone knew where his loyalties lay. But here's where the story gets really interesting. Despite being under Prince's thumb, The Time managed to create magic. Songs like Jungle Love and The Bird became instant classics. Their live performances were electrifying, sometimes even outshining Prince's own shows. In fact, their rivalry on stage became so intense that it spilled over into real life. During the Purple Rain tour, there were nights when The Time's energy threatened to steal the spotlight. Prince responded by pushing his own performances harder, creating an unspoken competition that drove both acts to new heights. Remember that famous scene in Purple Rain where Morris Day's character faces off against Prince? That wasn't just Hollywood fiction, it was art imitating life. Behind the scenes, their arguments sometimes got so heated that physical altercations seemed imminent. Yet through it all, there remained an undeniable mutual respect. They pushed each other to be better, to reach further, to create more. It's almost poetic how their conflict fueled such incredible music. When Morris finally decided to leave The Time in 1984, it wasn't just about artistic freedom, it was about identity. He wanted to break away from Prince's shadow and establish himself as more than just a protege. But even then, Prince maintained his control. When The Time tried to record without him, Prince shut them down immediately. "No, you can't use the name," he declared, effectively holding the band's identity hostage. Fast forward to the 1990 reunion. For Graffiti Bridge, the original 7 members came back together, but they couldn't even use their own name. Instead, they awkwardly rebranded as the original 7 then. Imagine the frustration of creating hits like Jerk Out while dealing with such restrictions. The album Pandemonium showcased their growth. For the first time, the band had significant input in their music, yet despite their success, the reunion was short-lived. The underlying tensions never truly disappeared. Throughout the years, The Time's relationship with Prince ebbed and flowed like a complicated dance. They broke up, reunited, changed names, added new members, but always, Prince's influence lingered in the background. Even after his passing in 2016, the drama continued. Morris found himself in a legal battle with Prince's estate over the right to use the band's name. After 4 decades of building The Time's legacy, he suddenly faced restrictions that threatened his livelihood. The estate argued that a 1982 contract gave Prince's company ownership of the name. They claimed to want a peaceful resolution, offering special agreements for Morris to use the name. But the situation remained unresolved, leaving Morris feeling betrayed. Primary Wave Music and Elundell Macmillan publicly supported Morris, arguing that after 40 years of dedication, he deserved to keep performing as Morris Day and The Time, What makes this story so compelling isn't just the music or the fame, it's the human elements, the ambition, the creativity, the power struggles. Prince and Morris shared a love-hate relationship that defined careers and created legends. There's that moment when Prince unexpectedly told Morris, "I love you." It caught Morris completely off guard, because it was the first time Prince had expressed such sentiment. This complexity, being both mentor and rival, friend and foe, characterized their entire relationship. Their style was equally fascinating. Picture the Times' signature look, fancy suits, hats, and a swagger that channeled 1940s gangsters. They opened for Prince on major tours, sometimes even receiving better audience reactions. This dynamic led to Prince removing them from certain tours altogether. Their rivalry transcended personal disagreements. It became part of pop culture history, immortalized in Purple Rain, and influencing generations of musicians. The band's journey through multiple breakups and reunions reads like a soap opera. Remember their attempt at a fifth album, tentatively titled Old Dogs New Tricks. Production issues and creative differences with Prince shelved the project indefinitely. Then came Morris's 2004 solo album, It's About Time, which featured both old and new members of the Time. Their 2008 performance at the 50th Grammy Awards alongside Rihanna demonstrated their enduring appeal. By 2011, they had officially changed their name to the Original Seven, releasing Condensate and scoring hits like Number Trendin'. Their appearance on The Tonight Show with Jay Leno proved they still had what it takes to captivate audiences, but nothing could prepare them for the emotional impact of Prince's sudden passing in 2016. The tribute concerts that followed, including their performance at London's Autism Rocks event, showed how deeply connected their legacies remained. In Minneapolis, where it all began, the Time earned a star on the outside wall of First Avenue night. This honor, reserved for artists who significantly impacted the local music scene, speaks volumes about their enduring influence. From those early days playing at First Avenue, to their iconic role in Purple Rain, their story became intertwined with the very fabric of Minneapolis's musical heritage. Looking back, perhaps the most remarkable aspect of this saga is how both Prince and the Time pushed each other to greatness. Their competition wasn't just destructive, it was constructive. Each challenge from the Time forced Prince to elevate his game, while Prince's dominance pushed the Time to innovate within their constraints. This dynamic tension produced some of the most memorable music of the era. Even Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, after their controversial departure, went on to become legendary producers. Their work with Janet Jackson, New Edition and Mariah Carey earned them Grammy Awards and solidified their place in music history. Rather than diminish the Time's legacy, their success highlighted how much talent Prince had initially gathered under his wing. The story of Prince and the Time teaches us something profound about creativity and control. It shows how artistic vision can both unite and divide, how mentorship can transform into rivalry, and how passion can drive people to both create and compete. Their journey reminds us that great art often emerges from conflict, that success rarely follows a straight path, and that true innovation requires both collaboration and independence. As we reflect on this complex relationship, we see how two forces, Prince's singular vision and the Time's collective talent, collided to create something extraordinary. Their music continues to resonate, their influence persists across genres, and their story serves as a testament to the power of artistic ambition. Whether they were rivals or collaborators, friends or foes, one thing remains clear: Prince and the Time changed the face of music forever. And isn't that what truly matters in the end? The next time you hear Jungle Love or watch a clip of Morris Day strutting across the stage, remember the drama, the tension, and the genius that made it all possible. Because sometimes, the most unforgettable music comes from the most complicated relationships. And in the case of Prince and the Time, their secret feud wasn't just a footnote in music history, it was the driving force behind their lasting legacy. Let me paint a picture of their live performances. The way Morris would command the stage with his trademark megaphone, the band's impeccable synchronization, and the palpable electricity in the air. Fans would go wild, sometimes even preferring their shows to Prince's. This reaction didn't sit well with Prince, who would occasionally remove them from tours altogether. There's that story about how the Time once performed behind a curtain as Vanity Six's backup band, collecting double pay while barely breaking a sweat. Terry Lewis joked about it being easy money, but the underlying tension remained. Their influence extended far beyond their own music. The Time's style, those sharp suits, coordinated dance moves, and theatrical stage presence, inspired countless artists. They bridged the gap between funk, R&B and pop, creating a sound that felt both nostalgic and groundbreaking. Even their name changes and legal battles couldn't diminish their cultural impact. Consider the irony of their situation. A band known for its confidence and swagger was constantly fighting for its identity. Morris Day invested 40 years into building the Times brand, only to find himself battling for the right to use the name after Prince's death. His social media posts revealed the frustration of an artist who had given decades to a project, only to have its future questioned. Meanwhile, Prince's estate maintained they wanted an amicable solution, yet the legal documents told a different story. Primary wave music support for Morris highlighted another layer of complexity. They recognized that after 4 decades of service, Morris deserved to continue using the name that had become synonymous with his career. Alundell Macmillan echoed this sentiment, emphasizing the unfairness of restricting access to a legacy he helped create. These voices added depth to the ongoing narrative, showing how even after Prince's passing, his influence continued to shape lives and careers. The Times story also demonstrates how artistic partnerships can evolve over time. Their initial formation might have been Prince's brainchild, but as years passed, the band developed its own identity. Members came and went, new influences emerged, and their music reflected these changes. Even when they couldn't use their original name, they found ways to adapt and continue creating. Their resilience in the face of constant challenges is a testament to their dedication to their craft. Perhaps the most poignant aspect of their journey is how it reflects broader themes in the music industry. The struggle between artistic control and commercial success, the tension between mentorship and independence, and the delicate balance between collaboration and competition. These are universal challenges faced by artists across generations. Prince and the Times story serves as a microcosm of these larger issues, offering valuable lessons for anyone navigating the complex world of music creation. Their legacy continues to inspire new generations of musicians. Listen closely to contemporary R&B and funk artists, and you'll hear echoes of the Times' influence. Their innovative approach to production, their distinctive style and their ability to blend humor with musical sophistication remain relevant today. Even as musical trends change, their contribution to the genre stands as a benchmark for excellence and creativity. The friendship-rivalry dynamic between Prince and Morris Day adds another layer of intrigue to their story. While they openly competed on stage and in the studio, there were moments of genuine connection and mutual admiration. Prince's unexpected declaration of love to Morris during one of their meetings caught everyone off guard, revealing a vulnerability beneath the competitive exterior. These moments of authenticity remind us that behind the public personas and professional rivalries, there were real human emotions at play. Their interactions throughout the years, from sharing the stage in Purple Rain to their later reconciliations and joint performances, demonstrate how complex relationships can evolve over time. The line between friend and foe often blurred, creating a dynamic that was as unpredictable as it was productive. Even when they disagreed or fought, there was always an underlying respect for each other's talents and contributions to music. The impact of their relationship extended beyond just the two of them. It influenced the entire Minneapolis music scene, inspiring other artists to push boundaries and explore new creative possibilities. Their friendly competition raised the bar for live performances, studio productions and artistic innovation. Local venues like First Avenue became incubators for this creative energy, fostering an environment where musicians could experiment and grow. Looking at their trajectory from the early 1980s to today, it's remarkable how their story continues to unfold. Each reunion brought new challenges and opportunities. Each legal battle revealed new facets of their complex relationship with Prince's legacy, and each performance added another chapter to their evolving narrative. Even now, fans eagerly anticipate what might come next from Morris Day and the Time. The Time's journey serves as a powerful reminder that in art, as in life, the most meaningful creations often emerge from tension and conflict. Their story challenges our conventional understanding of success, demonstrating that true artistic achievement isn't just about individual brilliance, but about the complex web of relationships, influences, and circumstances that shape creative expression. As we consider their legacy, it's important to recognize how they transformed limitations into opportunities. Working under Prince's strict control could have stifled their creativity, yet they found ways to innovate and express themselves. Their ability to maintain their identity while operating within Prince's framework speaks volumes about their artistic integrity and determination. Even when they couldn't use their name or record independently, they continued to perform, create and connect with audiences worldwide. Their story also highlights the importance of adaptability in the music industry, from changing band names to incorporating new members, from adjusting to legal restrictions to embracing new musical styles. The Time demonstrated remarkable flexibility. This adaptability allowed them to remain relevant and continue creating meaningful music across decades. Perhaps most importantly, their journey teaches us about the enduring power of music to transcend personal conflicts and professional challenges. Despite all the drama, legal battles and creative differences, The Time's music continues to bring joy to listeners around the world. Their songs remain timeless, their performances unforgettable, and their influence undeniable. As we reflect on the complex relationship between Prince and the Time, we see a story that's bigger than just two entities vying for control. It's a narrative about the transformative power of music, the intricate dynamics of creative partnerships, and the lasting impact of artistic vision. Their legacy serves as a testament to the idea that even in conflict, there can be creation, even in competition, there can be collaboration, and even in control, there can be freedom. So let's celebrate not just the music they created, but the complex, messy, beautiful process that brought it into existence. Let's honor not just their hits, but the human stories behind them. And let's remember that sometimes the most extraordinary art emerges not despite difficult circumstances, but because of them. Because in the end, it's these complications, these challenges, these moments of tension and triumph that make their story and their music so profoundly compelling.